Hello. We're here today to learn a little bit on how to draw using the grid technique. I just want to go ahead and remind all of you to please help me by subscribing, like, comment, and sharing. I would appreciate it. I know that many of us don't know about the YouTube requires or expects us to have so many subscriptions, likes, comments, and shares before they can start considering you. And I am a retired teacher. I would really appreciate your help by subscription, if you sharing comments and likes. And it's very simple to do because I didn't know this. This is why I'm going to show it. But on your phone or your device, your computer, if you hit the like button, that helps a lot. If you hit the share, you can send it to someone if you think you have learned something. And again, my idea, I'm a retired teacher of 44 years. And my idea is not just to draw and draw and show my work on YouTube, but I would like for some of us to try to learn some of this yourselves, you know. So I'm going to be using some measurements and some instructions, and then I'm going to put it on fast timing so it'll go by quicker once I give you an idea. And the nice thing about this type of technology is that we can always pause, you know, return, forward, skip, and so on. So we would appreciate it. And I'm learning about YouTube myself. And now I understand why they have videos. Let me just kind of give you an idea as to how many based on Google. About 3 days ago I checked, and there is 1.9 billion users. There's 500 hours of videos uploaded every minute, and 1 billion hours of YouTube videos every day. And 70% of the viewing is on mobile devices. We as YouTubers, we need 1,000 subscribers, and 4,000 hours of people watching the videos. 4,000 hours. That's a lot, but it can be done with your help. So please, I appreciate your help. If you see something you learn, you like, please pass it on. If you go to the YouTube, and if you hit the symbol, that symbol there, it'll open to the channel where I have my videos, and you can go and check them out. You can click on videos and you can see all the videos that I've done. And all of them are based on learning something if you want to, or otherwise for entertainment. Whatever you like. This is a nice thing about having technology like this that we didn't have when I was a younger man, a person. So I welcome you. Let me just kind of give you an idea again what videos I have done very quickly here. This is a 1-point perspective. And the reason to learn perspective, if you're into drawing, if you're into learning, doing some artwork of your own, watercolors, acrylics, pencils, ink, whatever, is to get an idea as to objects, how objects look where you're standing. If this object is in front of you and you're in front of it, is this going to look like this? You look to the side, and then if I'm looking up, you're going to see this up. If you're looking down, or if you're up on the top and on a plane, this is how you would be looking at the buildings going down. It's a 1-point perspective. Then we have a 2-point perspective. I'm going to go pretty quickly here. And in this case, the difference between this 1 point and 2 point is that the vanishing point is in the middle here. Now this vanishing point can be anywhere on the paper. You gotta realize that, again, I'm doing this as a lesson, as a teaching method. And on the second one, the vanishing points are on the sides, but then they can also be anywhere on your paper. And as you can see, the difference between these boxes, these cubes, these forms, shapes, and here. Okay, so for example, let's look at the difference here. Okay, so at 1 point, 2 point. And the reason that I show this is the beginning, because like I told you, there's almost 2 billion videos, and we might not see them. We might not get to see them. And those of you that have been watching my videos, please be patient. I'll be over with this pretty quickly. And this is a color scheme, so I would teach my kids, you know, using a scale, a very simple color scale in this case, from tints to intensities and shades. Then we did a value scale, a color pencil study. Okay. Here's another study, pencil study. Then I'm also trying to show how to use the 1 point perspective using color schemes, and by using the value scale that I showed you a while ago. Here's one of them. Here's this one. As you can see, I'm doing the alphabet because they all have different forms. Descenders, ascenders, centers, verticals, and horizontals. And it's interesting, you know, because as you work more and more, depending on the seriousness, you are going to become better. You are going to become better. I can promise you that if you try. Now, we can always try. We can always try. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. Okay? So, here's the calligraphy, a study of calligraphy using the color schemes. I did a Valentine card for you guys, for you viewers. And here's a grid technique that helps you in learning to draw. This is a study again. These are just studies that you square it out. This is what we're going to do today, but instead of me doing 2 of them, I'm just going to do the enlarged one. But this here is the same size as this. And then it's like, think about a projector. You pull the projector back, the screen back, and you enlarge your picture to ratio. So this is the same. This is 2 times larger than this one here. There's all of these are videos that I've done. Here's another one that I did. A bison. Again, the actual size here, double the size. So I'll explain that in just a minute, and then we'll do time lapse, so it'll go quicker. And here I did acrylic with watercolor. Okay, this is another video that I have. And then I did a study on Superman. Now the idea behind this one is that it is just a study. It's just a fantasy thing. In science, if you take an egg and you place it on your hand like this and try to break it, it's not gonna break. But if you take it sideways, it will break very easily. Okay, so it's just the irony that Superman is a muscular person, a Superman, and he is having difficulty breaking it. So it's an extortion. It's not a realistic human form here, because I'm trying to show the force that he's trying to put in his arms and his muscles, the strain they're going through. This is the study before. This is first, and this is the second one. So this is a watercolor with pencil and marker. This is all watercolor. And then we have the letter H. And since I was a teacher, there's ideas here on to how to label assignments, you know, using the name, date, subject, period, class number. And I explain on the film all about this here, because in my case, I would have in one day, I would have a group of students in my 10 classes that were 150, 175 kids. And I grade the papers. I really grade them. So I had to figure out a way to make it quicker and fast. So if you know of anyone that is a teacher, you can recommend this film. Or it's not films, videos. That goes to show you how old I am. I'm a grandfather art teacher. And here I did a 3-point perspective study here. Okay. This is a 3-point perspective. I showed you the 1-point, 2-point, and 3-point. Then I did a watercolor one. And the last one I just did is the letter I for ice cone, icicle, and igloos. Okay, so please, again, I remind you to have mercy and subscribe, like, comment, share. And here we're gonna get started now with the instructions. Now you can change anything you want, it's up to you. I'm using the centimeters because it's easier. So here I have, this is what we're going to study. This is not my drawing, it's just a study, a teaching lesson. And this is where we're going to use this one here. I went ahead and broke it down into grids, into a grid pattern of 1 centimeter. So I measured from here to here, from the one edge of the drawing to the other, and he gave me about 5 centimeters. You could use inches if you want. If you go inches, it's going to be about 2 inches. It so happened even. And then I went from the top of the rabbit's ear down to the bottom of the paw, and he gave me 8 centimeters. So this here, we're going to have each centimeter is going to equal to 2 centimeters over here in our paper. So I'm not going to draw the actual size here. I'm going to double it. So what I have a paper here, it's a drawing paper, watercolor base. It's 12 inches horizontally and 9 inches vertically. So what I'm gonna do is I divided my paper using the inches. So 12, half of 12 is 6. I made a dot at the top and a dot at the bottom. So I have my center. So I'm going to draw a line here in the center. Okay, just to help me out. And then I'm going to go I went from the top to the bottom here, and it's 9 inches, so half of 9 is 4.5, so I made a dot 4.5, 4.5. So this is the center of my paper here. It's just for guiding me. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to use it. Okay. Now, since I said that each centimeter here is going to be 2 centimeters over here, and you'll note too that I went ahead and did geometrical shapes. That's one thing I would recommend everyone, that if you're trying to learn to draw, not to look at these objects as a bunny rabbit. Okay, we're gonna look at them as objects, as geometrical shapes. You break them into geometrical shapes, because sometimes the brain freezes up when we say, "Oh, I gotta draw this rabbit," or "I gotta draw this person," or whatever it is. If we just consider concentrate on the geometrical shapes, the proportions to one another, and then we place them in the squares that we have here, without any effort, or you're going to be able to do this. I can guarantee you. And why do I guarantee it? Because I used to teach 6th graders, first high school kids, and then 6th graders. And starting out like this, it helps them, in getting better to understand how the drawings work. So I'm going to set 5. Since it's twice, it's going to be, since 5 centimeters here twice, it's 10. So I'm going to divide my space up here into 10. So each little box is going to be 2 centimeters. Okay, so 2, 2, 2, which is this space, this space, this space over here. Now I go to the bottom, and I'm going to set my 2. Remember, I'm going to just start us out setting the measurements, and then I will speed up the timing so it'll go by faster. But again, I just don't want to sit here and draw it, you know, and you're just looking. You can, you know, but I want you to see the process. And then eventually with time, your brain starts getting used to this, and you don't need to use the grid anymore. Okay, the more you practice, the better you get. So I'm setting up my grid so that I can go ahead and draw the rabbit. Okay, so now in this case we can see here the center line we don't need anymore. We can leave it there, but I'm going to kind of erase it. And when you do this yourselves, do it lightly so that you don't have marks left behind after you erase. Okay, I'm doing it a little darker so you guys can see it. So now from the center, this here is going to be 8 centimeters on my original, but it's twice the size, so it's 16. So from the center line, 16, half of 16 is 8. So I'm going to go the top dot every 2. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8. This happened to hit there. 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, so now let me see so I don't have to go through all that. Okay, so now I go 8 from over here. Again, the same thing. A lot of his repetition. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So now I draw my lines lightly, because all of this are going to be erased. Okay. Now in my case, I just do all these measurements in my head. Naturally, I set up my border area that I'm going to work. I usually consider the working area based on the frames that are sold. In case you want to frame it, you know, you don't have to do any special cuttings. You just go look for a frame at any store that you want. So now this here, I'm going to erase the extra lines up here, or line segments. They're not lines. So if I say lines, I'm referring to line segments, okay? Like line segments, they're not lines. So I erase this. I do the same thing here at the bottom. And that there is this here twice the size. Okay? So now what I'm going to look for is I'm going to start up here on top, and I look for square 3. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I look for those spaces. So on space 3, I see that there's a little V here. I can go ahead and just kind of set it, kind of sketch it in there. I see a little space here, and then I see that it breaks in here about twice the size. I look at the negative space here and the positive over here, and then I see that it hits about here. Now remember that all of this here, now I look at the square here, it's a little off the half, and then intersects this line on space 3 about maybe just a little bit, a half. So I can sketch that line, and then I look at this point here. Okay, they're almost in line, and these are just guidelines. They're not permanent. It doesn't mean you can't change them. So now I'm going to kind of shape it, give it shape a little bit. Okay, I don't worry about it right now. And now I'm going to look at space 2. 2 2s, there's 2 and 2, and notice that right here is that line right there. Let me use the pencil to show. Okay, this intersection here about right there. I look at this other intersection here about here. Then this here goes into space 4. Okay, space 4, touches here, and rounds off like this. Then I look and see in space 4 and line 2, this one comes and touches about right there. And then this one here, it's almost 3 and 4 here, or 3 here, 3 and 3. And I look here, and it goes here, line 3, and I sketch it in. And now I bring it around. And remember, you're going to be adjusting. You're going to be adjusting. Okay? Now, so now we have that there so far. So I'm gonna get a little ahead of me. I'm gonna go to line 3 and line here, this line segment here, which is this one here, and the eye is angled. Notice the eye is angled, so I'm gonna angle it. It goes about halfway, and then I can kind of sketch it in there. Angle, and it rounds in. Okay. The nose, if we want to work with the nose, get a little detail here. It's in space 4, so remember, we can always make adjustments. It comes down a little more, and it kind of here about halfway in line, and then it angles off some. Okay, and then here's a little connection of the nose, a nostril, and it lines up with the eye. Okay. So now we look at his, let's go ahead and look at the, let's see. Let's look, I'm in trouble with my sight here, my glasses. Let's see. So here we are on 4, line 4, here's 4. Let me number them here, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I look, is line 3. Let me number them here too. Not so dark. Okay, here's line 3. It kind of meets with the here, very little space. I see that there's a ribbon that is halfway angled a little bit. That's fine. And it's inside the space. It touches about here. Okay. And then sometimes students say, well, I can't tell what it is. Hey, we don't care what it is. We just look and see where is it attached. And you see this little angle here, little square, and it meets in here. Then there's something here. I don't know what it is, and I don't care what it is. It comes out this way. Then it comes out a little bit. Then it angles in like this. Then I notice that his backside comes and kind of touches here. Then he rounds off in between lines 4 and 6, in this area here. So now I can connect. And then I notice here on 6, a little space here. Okay. So we're coming out this way. And then I see the tail, it's in 7, and it kind of touches here some. It rounds off a little bit here, and then this one rounds off this way. And it just kind of barely comes out this way. It touches here. Then I notice that it hits this line here, and then it connects before the line or line segment 5. Now I see his paw here, his foot angles. Notice the angle. And this is another thing that if you're learning to draw, I don't know if you guys have seen on cartoons or movies where you see the artist with a pencil or brush straight up. Well, in this case, is what you're doing. You close one eye and you see the angle, getting the angle of this one here, this foot, and I bring it without moving your wrist. You can move your arm. So I take this angle here that is on his foot, which is this one here, and I bring it over this way. I kind of imagine where it hits. I sketch it in, the angle. Then it rounds off, it hits here at the base, then it goes up. Okay, and you can see very quickly we're setting up a a rabbit without too much effort. And we look now, let me fold this a little more so that we can get it out of the way. Okay, so now you got the idea. From here on, I'm going to speed it up. I'm going to speed up the film so that you guys can look, and then you can probably try it. I challenge you to do it and let me know if this is too difficult for you. Okay, so have fun, and I'll be coloring it. I'm going to give it a little space extra around, a little framing, so I can work on a make-believe area that this bunny is at, you know, just for the fun of it. And again, I would appreciate it, and I need it. I'm being honest with you. I need your subscriptions. It doesn't hurt anything. Just click subscribe, like if you learned something, comment and share it, please. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and now work on the drawing, and you will not hear me, and it's gonna be time lapse.